Hello, folks. Thanks for stopping by the Funky Rider. Today we have something pretty special. You know, at work, I have a guy named Garrett. He's a friend of mine. We talk a lot about politics. A lot. And he always asks me, you know, why don't you put something on your YouTube channel concerning politics? And I told him, well, that's kind of iffy. You got 50% that like, 50% that don't like. But you know what? I decided to put just this one clip. Let's see what kind of comments I get. For you, Garrett. Ciao.
When someone like Andrew Stein, a lifelong Democrat, is supporting Donald Trump, I got my attention, and it was wild. Andrew, it's very good to have you.
Thanks, Neil. Thanks for having me, pal.
You know what's interesting about this? I didn't realize your dad was a pallbearer at St. Patrick's for Bobby Kennedy at the funeral. You're well steeped in Kennedy politics. Former New York governor, liberal Lion Mario Cuomo, speaking at your dad's funeral. So you're as Democrat with a capital D as you can get. To say nothing of the fact that you were borough president of Manhattan, elected twice as city council president. So why this? This seems to be diametrically opposed to your whole background.
Well, Neil, I know Donald since the early 1970s. I know what he can do. You know, I asked him to redo the Woolman Rink in Central Park. The city took 10 years. They couldn't get it done. I asked Donald to do it. He did it in 6 months, and he did it under budget. And, you know, I think we need a pro-growth president, somebody who believes in cutting marginal and corporate tax rates and doing away with the thousands of regulations, the worst of which is Obamacare, which he promises to undo. And then I think that we need somebody to build up America's military, which has been decimated by sequestration, the Obama cuts. And also, I think Hillary wants to let in tens of thousands of immigrants into our country who we can't vet, we can't document, and Donald's against it. So, you know, and Hillary, when she ran for the Senate, you know, she said she was going to create 200,000 jobs upstate. The fact is, when she left the Senate, we had a minus 8,000 jobs. Now she's promising to create 10 million jobs. I think Donald will create jobs. I think he'll build up our country, and that's why I'm supporting him.
You know, your father, Jerry, was also a big New York Democrat. In fact, sir. I guess you grew up with all these big, mighty, powerful players in the party, Hubert Humphrey, and of course Bobby Kennedy, and some of these others, who would stay at your place or stop by your place. And now, what do you think he would say of his son abandoning the Democratic nominee for this business developer?
Well, my father loved Donald Trump and vice versa, and they had a very close relationship. And I think that he would be excited about Donald's candidacy. I did grow up, you know, when Hubert Humphrey used to stay at our apartment and Estes Kefauver when I was a kid.
Wow.
I knew Bobby Kennedy well. You know, I idolized Bobby and Jack Kennedy. So this is not easy to do, Neil. But
well, have you gotten any grief from the Clinton folks or Hillary Clinton herself?
Yeah, sure.
What have they said?
Well, I've gotten grief from my fellow Democrats, you know, when I go out. I've gotten a lot of cheers about the Wall Street Journal from a lot of people, but I've gotten grief from my fellow Democrats. Of course, how could you do this, you know?
All right, the debate last night, a lot of people said on debating points Hillary did very, very well. Did anything in Donald Trump's performance, I guess it depends on your point of view, give you pause on what you were just telling me?
No, absolutely not. First of all, I think Lester Holt was very unfair. He asked Donald some very tough questions. He didn't ask any to Hillary. He didn't ask her about the pay-for-play at the Clinton Foundation. He didn't ask her about the email server. So I think it was one-sided. And considering that the moderator was unfair, I think Donald did rather well.
You know, some of your liberal friends say there's more material with Donald Trump. Just deal with it. And Hillary doesn't have this much material. You'd obviously disagree.
Well, I don't know what you mean by material, Neil.
That he has more things he has to correct and be chased on his record than she does. I find that a specious argument myself, but that's why
Well,
they
I don't
justify
think
it.
that's true. I mean, look, she has a record as Secretary of State. She says she has all the experience, but her experience, as far as I'm concerned, is all negative. I mean, look at Libya, it's a disaster. Iraq, Syria, the Russian reset. Russia's more aggressive than ever. China is expanding in the Pacific. So I think she's got a terrible, terrible record.
Incredible. It's big stuff. All right.
Thank
and
you
it's
for
time.
having me.
Very good seeing you.